attorney saying the false charges Shaw was just that. Well, who do you think gave Allo that? You think it just appeared magically? I emailed him that. Absolutely. Of course, I'm aware that I gave Allo that and some other stuff. Why Allo? Because I know Allo would eventually put it up. That's why it all comes out in the wash, man. So kind of strange. And I don't, by the way, I don't give a shit that I'm doing a live stream. I'm gonna, you know, live stream at will or upload at will. Fuck all that shit. If I got something to say, I'm going to say it. It never stopped me before, and it's never going to stop me now. All right, pushing that aside, the fact that I'm on a live stream. Oh well, that's unexpected. And what you want, Cecil? Yeah, kind of strange, huh? Now, if they gave a shit about Barry at all, and they thought he was the innocent, he'd be out of that place. I mean, it's hot, sweltering. It's horrible. I'm over here north, I guess I'm north, yeah. And, we got some sizzling temperatures by afternoon. And I can't imagine because Manila tends to get a little higher. I don't know why, but everything happens in Manila, really. Earthquakes, everything happens. They get higher temperature. But even an establishment like that prison in Manila, man, that's some serious health and heat issues. And they want to let this man suffer. Suffer, I tell you. Of course, Popeye's doing a simulcast. Of course he is. Oh, I don't have to call Popeye ahead of time. He has bells ringing all over his basement. When I do a show, he's got bells ringing in the CR, bedroom, kitchen, you name it. When I'm on, he don't want to miss a trick. Well, there's not really much to miss, really, except for him making a statement. Well, I knew he'd be on again. Besides that, I'm not really sure what he can say, but he always has something to say. I was laughing. I remember seeing a video that was posted of when Nico was at visiting Barry. Boy, that guy's like a whale, isn't he? And he was hugging and like kissing Barry's head. What's that all about? Is that why he doesn't have a girlfriend? Maybe he don't like girls? Blades of Grass, we know that already. But I remember seeing that video when he went there. Oh, Barry enjoyed it so much he got a few kisses on his bald head. That was a video not too long ago to be a tearjerker video about Barry's supposed victory. I still don't know what they see as victory. Strife is justice, says Barry is in general pop, the prison general population. Yeah, he's mixed with everybody. They're supposed to build a new, they talked about it in 2024, a third floor or something on there, but I don't know, apparently they didn't get around to doing that. Picture this, him laying on a fucking dirty floor, hotter than shit. Unless he got himself a bunk bed, and if he gets on the top bunk, that temperature, science, heat rises, It's got to be excruciating. Barry will be confronted by several men confined in close quarters. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know it is. I know it is. Because he can't shut his mouth. So did the community give up on the Free Barry J campaign? Maybe the community woke up and said, I'm so happy he's there. Even if Frank didn't get him there through a prison sentence, through the judge, we're still happy where he turned up. And we can't blame Frank for that. No, you actually can't. I mean, he would have wound up there if we decided to just continue the case and just whatever, Sure, in my testimony and all that. But that's past. The court case is over on that. So, yeah. Yeah, Barry can't help himself with being who he is. But isn't it so Strange. People are strange. Do 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 do. They are strange. They are strange. They are strange. While Barry suffers in the clink, nobody's putting some money to link. While Barry suffers the pain and sorrow. Is there really any tomorrow? Because they're strange. Because they're strange. Because they're strange. Anyway, okay. Are you enjoying this, Popeye? Yes or no? Tell you right. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Simple yes. How's your How does your day go today, Popeye? Blue-haired ladies, bingo parlor, cigarette smoke in the air. Did you put on your knee socks, your black shoes, white socks, and your khakis, and comb your hair a little bit, what you got left of it. Gotta look good. Gotta look good at that bingo parlor. The doors is right. When you're strange, when you're strange, people are laughing all over the net. Barry is getting hot and wet. Nobody wants to claim his soul today. So he stays and stays and stays. Who knows how many days? Okay. Yeah. What's a hot one here too? It's a lot better than there. I got air conditioning. I heard if you pay enough money over there, you can get an air conditioned room. Yeah, they actually have them there, man. I mean, yeah, they do. If you want to pay the price every month, there's a certain amount of pesos you have to pay. They could get you a little air conditioned corner somewhere. Uh, yeah, yeah. Maybe you should spend some of his Social Security money on that. I sure as hell would. Yeah, Nico wanted to dance with Nico's such a joke. I saw that video of like the victory. By the way, I have a question for you guys. Is Big E's wife, harem member, girlfriend? I don't know. I'm not really sure what the relationship is. Is she Chinese? I never asked that question. It's an honest question, innocent question. Is she Chinese? You know who she looks like? You remember? Oh, what was his damn name? With he was Superman. He did some acting. He's been long off on here, and he married this Chinese woman with glasses and buck teeth and all this shit. You remember? You remember that? With a C. With a C. Oh God. Oh. He had kind of an active show at the time. He was tall. He did some commercials, and whenever he came to the Philippines, as long as he stayed, people looked like he was a hero. And what was his name? You know what I'm talking about. Amy Chung. Who's Amy Chung? I have no idea. No, I mean I'm not knocking his girlfriend. I'm just saying she looks Chinese to me. I was always wondering because uh, I never knew her nationality. To this day, somebody did an interesting depiction. It was on the what's his name show. He comments on here a lot. Well, on other channels. Not Boss Man. Who was the one guy? So I was just it's just 1850 each for Brevis, Biggie, Is Mike, and yeah, that's all they have to raise. That's chump change to these guys, right? Supposedly, Brevis being a Bitcoin millionaire. Seven high rollers can pay Barry's, and he'd be home, man. That boy do be home. Happy J, maybe the W202 propagate. No, I mean, we're not making fun of her. Okay, disclaimer. We're not. Some people say she's Filipino, but I thought she was Chinese, actually. And nobody ever really said, what her nationality. I'm just curious. Because she does have the features of a Chinese woman. The glasses, the whole thing, or Japanese or something like that. What did you say? More Japanese or Chinese? Would you say Chinese or something? Mama San, happy. Oh, hello. Is Barry in ignition like you ordered? No, Henry Cable. It's shocking that nobody else is doing updates or shows on Barry. It's like the message went out to stop talking about it. Well, we're not really. I'm not really talking about Barry himself. I'm talking about the seemingly unwillingness to help Barry out. I mean, his court case is gone. And as I said, I'm not talking about it because it's not there anymore. It's gone. So he's not really the subject, although he's a side topic because he's the recipient. It should be the recipient of all their fat wallets. But as you see, I have no problem with them paying off all his like about 750,000. Will probably clear the air for him. And, throw a few bucks in for good luck, to get settled in America. They could do that too. Throw another, I don't know, throw another 200,000 in there so you could have some pocket money, and that'd be a kind thing to do. Wouldn't it be a kind thing to do? I think that would be a kind thing. Where's all their kindnesses? Well, here's the thing with Big E. It's a harem chivalry type thing. You know, help the woman out, not the guy, because she might be a new member of his harem. You know, and another indoctrination is going to be going on. So she might be a new third member of the group. We've got Honeyco, he's got his wife, and since Barry's ex-girlfriend, she's basically single as you look at it, and they seem to like her. Maybe they should indoctrinate her into the harem. I've always thought so. He's in Manila. He's in Bikitan, the dirtiest, lousiest, rottenest prison, or one of them at least in the Philippines. Rats run freely. Cockroaches the size of a fucking football. Sweat, wet rice for meals. Yeah, they said it was wet rice. I don't know what they call it. It's a wet, soggy rice with vegetables. If you're a good boy, and the different meals of the week, there's 3 days in a week, they will serve you something else with the rice. It's usually fish or something like that. But they really want him to suffer that bad, really? They were jumping on me all the time saying, come on, Frank, 2 years is enough in detention. Well, wait a minute, let's back up on this. No. I didn't tell immigration to keep him in there for 2 years. Let's get this straight. No. If he shut his mouth, he wouldn't have a case against him, right? And they wouldn't have had to kept him there. So please, let's get this straightened out once and for all for historical records. He did it to himself. And in fact, he was in there too long. Hey, even I agreed after a while that that's a long time to be in that fucked up place. Right? Didn't I? Didn't I? I agreed to that. Why do you think we put our heads together with his lawyer? Okay. See, Barry thought he was going to get out with a slap on the wrist and a $40,000 fine. Well, excuse me, 40,000. Yeah, I wish 40,000 peso fine. As it turned out, he got a fine for the court of $250,000 pesos. $250,000 for damages to me. And he thought he was going to get a slap on the wrist and send his way home. Well, if it was better circumstances, really easy to raise the 40,000 pesos, but we're talking 250 plus 250 plus all the immigration fines and fees, and we approximate it's around 750,000 pesos. So it didn't turn out the way he wanted to. However, if we wanted, all we had to say, because it was up to my discretion and along, of course, with my lawyers, that we didn't have to agree to anything with his lawyer at all. No, we should have said, nope, No, we're not going to agree on that. Now let's continue the case. We're not going to accept his guilty plea because of this and because of that. Of course, we have to provide uh, evidence as to why we would not agree on that. Anyway, it's over. Period. No matter how it went. And they say that he's winning. And I'm still questioning how is he winning? How has he won? Here's a serious question. Okay, let's see. But now, AGD says, those very supporters can make a difference right now. Pay Barry's fines and fees, and they could do some real good for Barry. But where are they? They're all talk, no action, HAG says. Yeah. Oh, Vitali is probably with Barry. They're probably good friends by now. What is it? Is it 4 days? He's been in there. Today's the beginning of the fifth day. I'm sure he made himself very comfortable, found a good little niche in a corner somewhere under a piece of wood or cardboard or something, like the cockroaches do. But does Barry come out when the lights are off, though? I don't know. Yeah. You remember he was slept during the day. He really is a cockroach. He's he'd come out. Well, he would go to be up all night, and he'd come out in the daytime, like no, he'd be sleeping in the daytime, and he'd be on at night, like cockroaches come out in the night, until the light turns on, then they all go back into hiding. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Vitali, boy, he's in some big ass trouble, isn't he, man? Yeah, Popeye. Yeah, yeah, Popeye's listening. HAG says, "Why don't you bail Barry out, Big Mouth? Bail him out. Free Barry J. Free Barry J. Free." Me saying that now, right? Free Barry J. Ricky, come on. How about another fund? All you big money guys, where that kind of money is chump change, man. They got, a couple of them even have muscles bigger than Barry. And come on, that fat wallet. Remind me of George on Seinfeld. He kept everything in his wallet, his money, all the papers. He goes across the street. He puts one more piece of paper in. His back's been hurting him, right? His back's been hurting him. And Jerry tells him, well, gee, look at that wallet. Of course your back's hurting. He puts it in his back pocket. So he'll sit on the wallet. Of course, it's going to create problems with his lumbar. So George crosses the street. He puts that one little piece of paper in there, and his wallet explodes all over the freaking street as he's crossing. Oh. And then Seinfeld says, I don't know why. They're not freeing Barry J. They have all this money, George. Yeah, I know, Jerry. They got all this money. They got all this money. Why aren't they freeing Barry J? I don't know why, George. Popeye's higher than a Scotsman's wallet, tighter than a Scotsman's wallet. Are Scotsmen in their wallets tight? Really? Mama San says, I got to read it. I got to scroll down. Sorry, my screen. Sir Frank, customers said Bikitan Barry not allowed to collect SSDI now that he is convicted felon and in jail. It's that true? Supposedly. Well, they get word of it. I mean, they got to get word out. Come on, get the word out. I mean, I've been writing. Get the word out. The word. Have you heard the word? Or you religious people that heard the word. Well, let's let the Social Security Administration hear the word. The word. Joe Pesci. Oh, yeah, Joe Pesci's like that too. If you listen to George on Seinfeld, though, just brilliant. Just fucking brilliant. Well, I actually like the impression that uh, another actor makes on Jerry. But I think from everything I'm reading on here and listening to, uh, they're trying to make Barry feel that they really care. And the way I see it, if they really cared, they wouldn't worry about the money that has to be given to me. But that's a factor in this. They don't want to see me get a peso, man. That's what it is. But they know what Barry's done wrong. They all know. They know it very well. They know he broke the laws. They know if they were in my shoes, they'd probably do the same thing, maybe worse. But to save face, they got to do other things and say other things on their shows. I don't understand. Why, George, are they like that? I don't know, Jerry. You got some really strange people on here. Oh, you gotta love it or not, whatever. I don't care either way. People are strange. Can't you see that right here on YouTube? Hee hee hee. Anyway, people just love to hate people on here. That's what it is. Mick Fisher feels ousted. He did a big turnaround on my ass, big fucking time. He has nothing good to say to me. Me and Gilda treated him kindly, and we did. And he knows Gilda's a great gal. I wasn't running around pulling my hair out of my head when I met him. I wasn't doing a dip on top of a slippery stone on the beach or something. You know, just a normal guy. Normal guy. You know, he was a little gracious to us, bought us a breakfast, whatever. Fine, good. You know, till the messenger came. That's when it started. That's when it started. When he tried to take the high road and used some of his religious beliefs, if any, saying that Barry served his time. He paid the price. I disagree with him really at the time. I wanted the guillotine for that guy. Seriously, I wanted the guillotine. The guillotine. Remember that movie in France? It's all black and white. They're gonna hang somebody, but this one immigrant, whatever she was. The guillotine. The guillotine. I don't remember what movie that was, but I seem to have that memory. The guillotine was too good for him. However, I digress. Let me say something. When you are going to do something that you feel is right, you do it. If you think it's wrong, then, don't help somebody. If you think it's wrong, but stick to your convictions, examine what the situation is. Should I help this guy or not? And what's my reason for helping him? Is it to slap Frank in the face? Never worked with me, man. I've been slapped in the face 200,000 times in 10 years. Not a bruise on my face from the slaps. I don't care. I've heard it all. It rolls off. But a lot of people on here like to save face. Do they really believe that Barry's ex-girlfriend is innocent? No, they don't. Got a recording where he said it himself. He coerced her to make this report. Hello. But because she's an innocent woman, she's an innocent Filipina. Oh, chivalry at its best. Let's support her. Oh, she never did nothing. They know what she did. They know she was very heavily influenced by Barry to do this report and financed by some of the very high roaders on here that don't want to pay anything for his release. How interesting is that? Isn't it? What do we know about Mick Fisher besides the pink yoga shorts? I know what's with the pink yoga shorts, man. I don't know much about him. I know he's not broke. I think he's a hardworking man. I think, you see, I'll say things, good when they're, and righteously when it's due. Mick seemed like a hardworking man. He's probably saved. I don't think he's been in any serious relationships. I guess he was married, and I don't know. He's worked and didn't have to put money on a woman for a long time, I guess. Save money. Nothing bad about that when I say nothing bad about Mick. But he wants to slap me in the face. That's what he wants to do. Because I caught him in a situation where, he was taking this fucking high road with Barry, and he knew what Barry did was wrong. Everything Barry did was wrong, everything. But he decided to take the high road, and I said, that's bullshit, man. I pretty much told him on Messenger. I said, that's bullshit. That when it got, he got agitated, and we don't talk to each other on Messenger. So, like everybody else does, let's take the high road and let's join the hate club on here, and let's go on the attack because there's safety in numbers. That's all it is, man. Ego says he's the richest guy in the genre. I don't know about that. I'm not sure how he can afford his harem. I really don't know. And the more he gets at his harem, the more he's going to put out, and the more chances, if they're Filipina, they could turn on him. And who holds the cards? Filipinas do financially. But hey, that's his biz. His empire could collapse anytime. Anytime. Money doesn't solve all problems, my friends. Okay? Money doesn't solve all problems. People think it does, but it doesn't. If you're wrong about something, man, you're wrong about something. And money ain't going to say any different. Yeah, you could pay off officials. You could do that kind of shit. I'm pretty sure that has happened along the line somewhere. Didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it? Hint, hint, didn't it? Yeah. You could pertain that to anything you want it to be pertained to, Yeah. I kind of know the score, what transpired. I think I know the score. I know what transpired. Yeah. Okay, so where were we? All right. So the way I see it, if they really supported Barry, and they know the conditions of that place, they absolutely know the conditions. It's been all over YouTube, the conditions of that place. If they believed Barry was in the right, if they believed that he's a victor, that Biggie claims, has a video on there with his Chinese wife and whoever else was around the table and celebrating that Barry was the victor. How? How is he a victor? Here's the deal. How is Barry the victor? I love them to answer that. They always find some excuse, or way around it. But the fact is, guys, Barry had to be in a detention center for 2 whole fucking years. How's that a win? He was deprived of his freedom. How's that a win? Okay. Barry had a court trial against him. He pleaded guilty to 5 counts, separate counts. Pleaded guilty, I tell you. That made it what they call a conviction. It's still a conviction. If you get convicted now, meaning convict, in a court of law in the Philippines, you are not going to be able to come back in this country permanently, like permanent magic marker. You can't rub it off. Permanent blacklist. How is that a victory? And on top of that, would make things worse. The victor is going to lose his woman other than being a pen pal. She ain't going to be able to come see him. Hell no. He ain't going to be able to come over in Asia even to visit her. And what good is it if they're never going to ever be able to get together again? What good is it? It's over. It's over. So how is Barry the victor? What do you think about that, George? I don't know, Jerry. I don't see him as being the victor. I agree with you, George. Anyway, how could Barry be in Bikichan and be the victor. Makes no sense. Yeah, that's my point. That's my point. They want to have a little laugh on this because they're hurting inside. They didn't want this outcome, but they knew it was coming. Something was coming. But the beauty of this is they can't jump on my ass for getting Barry and Bickerton. I didn't think it was going to happen until they do a conviction. But lo and behold, little did we all know, or myself, that, they decided to evict the tenants of the detention center, and they had to put him somewhere. So they put him in, of all places that we used to joke about and hope for, he wound up in Bickerton after all. So who's the victor here? I beg to differ. And I don't beg anybody, but I'm begging to differ. Hugo says, it's all over, but the crying Bickerton Barry is real. Oh, it's real. Oh, it's real. Real as you can get. Shit. I complain about the heat over here, but Manila seems to be hotter. And that structure over there, you better hope you got a fan nearby because that's going to be your savior. They don't have a wading pool over there you could jump in and cool off. It'll turn into be a piss pool anyway with all the urine, stained bodies in there. It would be a piss pool if they had a little wading pond or something. But I don't know, maybe somebody should buy him an inflatable pool or something. No, but then the water there is tainted too. It's contaminated water. I don't think there's a win for this guy no matter what. The Crying Game. The Crying Game. Good movie. The Crying Game. So I laugh at all these people out there. I really do. And Gilda does too. We've heard it all, seen it all. Okay. So it's like, who's the victor? I'm the victor after all. I wasn't even, trying real hard. The guy gave me so much evidence, man. But he knew he was guilty and he couldn't fight it. So that's why he wanted to legally plead guilty because there's nothing to fight. And a good guy I am who could have continued this much longer, and nobody gives me the credit for that. I could have continued this longer, but I decided that 2 years was enough for him, and let the court handle it, and what the judge decides, he decides. But we kind of wanted to get this out of the dockets. The judge wanted to get it out of the dockets, and in regards to expenses, time, evidence, all this crap, me and my lawyers agreed that just get him out of the fucking country. That's what they said. Just get him out of the country. Okay. I said, well, that was my purpose in the beginning until, the reason for a court case came along. Then it got ugly. Oh, it got very ugly. And I wasn't going to leave it alone anymore at that point. That's it. Let's take this to the end and let the judge make their decision. Well, we knocked our heads down a little bit, about 2 weeks or less before the trial. About approximately 2 weeks. And then I wasn't even sure, really. We had an idea what we were going to do, but I wasn't sure about it. It wasn't until the day of the trial, and while we were on camera, we were communicating with the chief lawyer in this, Alan, on phone, on his associate's phone. So the messages were going back and forth because he was home. Okay, I'm going to go to another case or something, but we did it by Zoom. He's probably saying, okay, where do you want to go with this, Frank? And the chief lawyer, let's call him that, the man, said, let him just go home. Let him go home. Let him plead guilty. Leave it alone. He's not going to be able to come back in this country. Isn't that what you wanted, Frank? I said, yeah. But, I wanted him to pay the price. I don't mean financially. I wanted the motherfucker to suffer. Because what he did was wrong. He said, well, yeah, I know. You want to spend more money on this case, Frank? I said, not really, but if I have to, I will. Well, let my partner know. So his partner, his associate, got on camera. I was on there. And we had decided to listen to his lawyer and what she was kind of proposing. And we said, okay. But of course, of the plea of guilty, the judge had to come up with some kind of punishment. So rather than Barry thinking he was going to get like a 40,000 peso fine, he got surprised that it was going to be 250,000 to the court, 250,000 to me, and not to mention later on the immigration fees and fines and all that stuff too. So as it turned out, it didn't turn out very well for him. But in the meanwhile, he winds up in Biggie after all. After all, I mean, things really, I think, worked out for the best. What's that, Mama Son? Can you recall or say one time Bikitan Berry or his supporters? Mario. With that on your conscience, how are you? Conscious? Off my conscience. To, how are you? To live with yourself because you wanted it. I live fine with myself. Thank you very much. How do I sleep at night? Very well these days. Thank you very much. What am I conscious? For what? The guy did wrong to me and he's paying the price. Why should I have something on my conscience? I'll let you talk. I'm not going to block you. What do I have on my conscience? He broke the law. He's paying for it one way or the other. So why should I have that on my conscience? He's the one that has it on his conscience. That he has to live with it. What he's done. Did you have your say? I live in fine. I don't have a guilty conscience. Thank you very much. Hugo says, one win was when Ricky collected money for Barry, then used the money to buy an iPhone. I know that was a slap in the face. That sure was. That sure was. You're a New Yorker to act like a New Yorker, fool. New Yorkers take care of business, Mario Jr. And I'm taking care of business. You got a problem with that? You talking to me? You talking to me, Mario Jr.? Mario Jr. You're a shameful New Yorker. Anthony says, speaking of Ricky, I noticed he quit talking about Frank and he's not going to give money anymore to talk about me and Barry. He has to go with more current vloggers. No, it's not advantageous for Ricky to talk about me and Barry. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Well, you said you're a New Yorker, now you're a Dominican. Make up your mind. Oh, I don't know. Guy can't make up his mind, so New Yorker, Dominican, I don't know what the fuck he is. Go back to Dominica. Anyway, got your point, guys. No, if it's not advantageous, it's not going to talk about. No, Ricky has a reason and a timing with him when he talks about certain people. There has to be something that's happening, current, and all that, and he'll find somebody to attack. I'm good with Ricky as long as he shuts up. Because next time it may be different at SNR. Could that be Barry actually posting? Because he's the one that calls me Stanky Boy. Bye, Barry. Oh, is this one of your hours that they let you use your phone? They just won't let you do a live, right? Is that what it is? You give the guard a couple of bucks there, a couple of pesos, perhaps. Maybe he'll put an extra cockroach in your rice for protein. What do you think about that? Yeah. Free protein, man. It's on the house. It's all over the house, actually. There. Popeye, how the fuck are you doing, Popeye? How the fuck are you doing? This better be a good soliloquy after this show. I'm not going to accept anything else. There's not really much for Popeye to say, really. If there was a victory, well, I'm still waiting to see what Barry's victory is. I haven't seen it. All I've seen was a mass destruction on him that he caused himself. Self-destruction at its best. That's all I've seen. All right, where are we going with this? Give it a few more minutes on here. And Barry's probably getting some smokes by now. In fact, I'm going to light up, if you don't mind. You'll hear the click of my pick in a second. A celebratory cigar, but this is cigarette. Cigarette. It's nasty cigarette. Can you say Barry Bicoton?
Barry Bicoton?
Yeah, say it 3 times.
Barry in
Bicoton. Barry Bicoton.
Barry in
Bicoton. Barry in Bicoton. Where is he right now?
Bicoton.
Oh, is that a good place?
Yeah, it's a good place for him.
Good place for him. Ah, that's why I love her so much. What's not to love, guys? Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you to love mode. Mantis is the foot rubber massage boy of Bigoton. Oh, okay. I just think he gets what he deserves. One part of me was hoping that he'd get some longer prison, but it had to kind of level out somewhere. You know what I mean? Time to work on new business. You know what I'm saying? Time to work on new business. Well, bullshit Big E or somebody claims that Barry had told, or Shaw, his ex-girlfriend, said that Barry's doing great and that he has 3 hours a day of phone use. Well, you all know that's not true. Because if he did, he'd be doing hate shows on me right now. Because the living conditions are so horrible. He'd be cursing me out like there was no tomorrow. Secondly, it's a saving face thing. They want people to think that, oh, yes, Barry was, it's not that bad there. It's not that bad. And I got my phone for 3 hours a day. I don't want to lose. Barry has to say, like anybody else who wants to save face. He's in misery. But these people are doing nothing to help him. Nothing. What a compassionate guy I am. I didn't have to push this case any further. And I could have done that. I could have, would have, should have, whatever. I could have done that. But no, I'm full of compassion. I said, fuck it. He served his time for 2 weeks. Let the boy pay the court-appointed fines and penalties and all that. And away he goes home like a swallow, returning to Capistrano. Yeah, she does. She don't talk about him, though. It's called Life of a Filipino. A Filipina. You can find it. And the funny thing on her show, you remember that scene, the original one, where she was like, during the time she put a report in that she said that she was suffering from PTSD and depression. She was a wreck, couldn't leave the house, scared to death of me because I supposedly threatened her. I don't know where that happened. Never even met the girl. And that the psychologist says that she's like a wreck. Like she got blown up by a landmine or something. Oh, no, that's Nico. I don't want to mix that one up. Yeah, but anyway. Yet this scene, she changed it. She changed it. There's like a red trellis. Okay, remember that one? And the original video was this with this ethereal music. It had a caption like "Life is wonderful" or something like that. After she put the report in, that she was depressed and PTSD. The poor ting, as we say in Hawaii, poor ting. Then, she was dancing like a gazelle, spinning around, happy without a care in the world. She's got it on there again now, but she changed it to more somber music, and she edited the part where she was dancing around and spinning and spinning. Did you see that? For real? I got the original, though. I have the original. That didn't go anywhere. That was turned into immigration. Yeah. I don't know, man. Popeye's probably got a Woody right now. Because he figured, I don't know, might be something to it, though. I don't know. Frank hadn't put on a lot of shows, maybe serious this time. So he was kind of lax about it. He missed a couple of shorts, whatever of mine, but he only goes for the simulcast, though, because he has to do his famous soliloquy at the end of it, which never makes sense at all. And if anything, it's embarrassing himself because he ran out of things to say. What more could he say? He knows Barry did not have a victory. And he's upset that Barry has to pay me a quarter of a million pesos. Popeye's not happy about that. Oh, he's not happy at all. Poop, poop. Poopsie is not happy at all. He is not a happy camper. You remember that, right? Yeah. Oh, she changed it. Go take a look. Let's go. Life as a Filipino and Life as a Filipina. There's very similar ones to that, but yeah. Oh, she changed it all the way around. Too late. I'm too quick for her. That was turned into immigration. Anthony says, but remember this. Whatever Popeye does say will always be followed by a stupid laugh. I know. So funny. Some things don't change. Some people can't change. Popeye's illustrious career. Let's not get into that. He's still jerking off to that round table shit in Subic Bay, man. God damn. What did they got chapstick for the dick? I don't know. What do they have? They have chapstick for the dick? Because boy, if anybody needs it, this guy probably does. What do you think of that, Robert? What do you think about that, Robert? Here's a funny thing, too. Nico was out and about and said he was only 20 minutes away from Popeye's house. 20 minutes. And he couldn't go over there and visit old Popeye? What's with that? I don't know, Jerry. Something sounds awfully strange. Well, I think you're right. It does sound strange. Why? Because Popeye doesn't want to be seen. And it really threw him when a picture was released of what he looked like a couple of years ago. In fact, he went into hiding for about a week, didn't he? You didn't hear hide no hair from him after that picture of him was exposed. Oh, no. He was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Wasn't it, Robert? Yeah. I understand why you don't want to go on camera. I think we all understand. It's not because you never know when one of your supporters decides to pay you a visit. That door will be locked with triple locks. And he won't be on YouTube. That happened a few times. He went in hiding. Robert went in hiding. It wasn't the first time. Oh, we'll wait for his stupid laugh, yeah. Okay. Oh, there used to be a group of us guys here in San Diego who would meet regularly around town. Oh, YouTubers or just a bunch of guys? Okay, nothing to do with YouTube, and that's going to hell these days. All I hear is negativity on here, man. So many channels, all they're doing is saying crappy things about the Philippines, like Jim. God, that guy goes back and forth, back and forth. Stay in Ohio, wherever the hell you are. Stay there. God, it's I don't know. They're trying to justify something. I don't know what. On one hand, Philippines is the best place. In the same breath on the same show, but they're listing all these negatives. Do us all a favor, just stay where you are. Anthony says Angeles City was the common denominator. Oh, yes, it was for a long time. That goes back to Seth Style and all these guys, Philly in the Philippines, who's out of his element. I mean, there's another guy that's going out of his mind. He's naming his chickens. I mean, when that happens, you know it's all over. No, that was his turf. I mean, that was Philly in the Philippines turf. I mean, without Angeles City, the walking block, whatever they call it, and without that, he had nothing. But his girlfriend got accosted there somehow, scared him and scared her. But it was more than that. I think there was a lot more going on. He was under a lot of adversity with a lot of people. And the problem was he stood out you know, like 1,000-watt light bulb when he used to walk around that street. People would recognize him. There were people that did not like him. So he's in some god-forsaken place in the bushes and talks to his chickens now. Even names his chickens. That's pretty sad. Mama San says, Sir Frank, the girl said that your new name is the Lion of Bantayan. Did you? Well, yes, I knew that. Yeah, Philly. We're talking about Philly in the Philippines. Yeah. Brian. Yeah, that's a big mistake that he moved out to the sticks because he's going out of his mind. There's not much out there. That he has his relatives live with him and stuff like that. They're in and out. He's got to pay for all that shit. I don't know, man. It's not like that for me. I happen to be happy where I'm at. And the only relatives that stay here is just two of her children. The rest are, a couple of them visiting right now, actually. But I don't have to house all these people or pay for them. These are good, decent people that are working or in college or something. They're successful people, all doing very well. But everybody has a skeleton in their closet on YouTube. It seems. I always mention this one guy, Amazing Philippines. Why do I always mention him? Because he's pleasant to listen to. I listen to him when I can. It tends to be boring at times because at least he's performing a service on here. He's not trying to join a high road club or the Holy Rollers or anything like that. He's just doing a show about real estate, apartment prices. He may mention a few things about the city, some of the changes. He may mention some of the bars have changed names or whatever. I mean, he doesn't talk about anything that creates any friction. I mean, that's the way it should be, but that's not the way it is. You know, did Philly get hit in the head with a bolo knife like Big Kev? He seems a little off. Well, he's always seemed a little bit off to me. But are these people really happy? I mean, look at Popeye right now, who's doing a simulcast. I mean, is this guy really happy that he's so consumed with me? They say, "Well, Frank, you were so consumed about Barry." Not anymore. Of course, I was consumed with Barry. We had a case going on there. I had to spend my time, research, evidence. I mean, I was very involved in this case. But now that the court trial is over with him, he's irrelevant. He's irrelevant to me. Totally irrelevant. He's paying his price in his own way, and there was karma, there was victory on my part. There's no question about it. Don't listen to Big E and all his constituents in the High Road Club. They know what's going down in Funky Town. They just don't want to admit it. Philly seems different, that's for sure. Yeah, he's a little different. Yeah. Now he's got chickens. He calls them all these tough names, these chickens. Remember, he was a jail guard or something at a prison. That was his job. I can't picture that somehow. Somehow I can't picture that. And he's kind of like a new version of Ren Zero in a way. And what way is that? Well, let me explain. He tries to look tough like Ren Zero. He puts a bandana on. He'll wear the hat backwards. He'll display his tattoos. He'll grow a beard to look more masculine. There are some similarities with Ren Zero. It's all a facade. It's all a facade. He's not a tough guy. He's not a tough guy at all. He's got some medical problems, too, if you didn't know that. They all have medical problems. Aloe named Frank the Lion of Antioch. Call me what you want, but, don't forget to call me for dinner. Yeah, I know. I see. I'm up on this stuff, Hugo. I'm up on all this stuff. There's not much that gets away with, that I don't know about on here. Now, yeah, I'm familiar. I get around. Sometimes I make the time to hear some of the ridiculous things that are going on amongst the High Roller Club and the High Rollers and the Holy Rollers and all that stuff. Got a lot of organizations out there, all unfortunately made up of a bunch of fucking losers. Who's really winning? Well, I guess I am, if you think of it in the sense that I wound up with the gal I wanted over 9 years together, live in a comfortable home in the Philippines. I get along with the family. Family doesn't ask me for money. Nothing like that. She don't even ask me for money because she's got a couple of bucks of her own too. Well, I mean, what could be a better scenario than that? And the woman actually loves me. Imagine that. But she does. And I don't have a view that doubts it. Maybe the high road club will say different. You're just an ATM. You're just an ATM to her. How many times have I heard that before? That's not true. Because I'm not really very wealthy. And she's got more money than I do, so why would she use me for an ATM? That's a good question. It don't make any sense. No. Hugo. Al is the only one on here that backed you, Frank. Another reason that Team Jordan is pissed off. Well, understand the scenario. Al don't like me at all, but he's more supportive of me than he is over Barry. That's the difference. That's it. Al has done a lot of hateful things to me too, like Fazio did. But Aloe, he's an athletic fence jumper when he wants to be. But yeah, it seems like he's supporting me. But in all reality, it's just to get a little attention on his show. But what he does say, some of it is very valid. Very valid. AJG says fake tough guy things, kind of like Popeye, who uses a muscular cartoon of Popeye the Sailor. Fake. In real life, he's got to be the furthest thing from the thumbnail. Well, you saw a picture of him anyway. Make your own evaluation of the rest of them. Yeah. And he's listening to this right now, which is really cool. He's listening. Oh, he's listening intently. Taking notes because he's got to do his little speech at the end of the show. So he's got to take some notes. But the fact is, Popeye is so burned out. Everything he puts on is just redundant. It's just burned out. Some of the same, in the editing, some of the clips he puts in there. And the truth is, he could be really creative if he wants to for the good, and create some positive stuff, but he doesn't. Yeah, he does, Judge Judge Dredd. Yeah, he really does. It is sad. I could almost feel sad for some of the people on here because they have none of this stuff going for them at all, and they always make excuses about it. Oh yeah, I like being single or whatever. I married before. I don't want to get married again, or they just can't find a woman to get interested in. They just waited too long, or their personality just put them in as an outcast for any potential relationships. Why is he possessing me? Well, because Popeye's always become a subject on here of ridicule. He has this thing with him that if you turn on him or say anything truthful against him, that you know that might be a derogative comment or something, he gets really easily riled up. That's why him and his associates, when they were working as guard duty, would roust up, the drunks, and he got like a lot of feeling of power from there because they had a gun or whatever, and a couple of his buddies, they'd arrest the drunks, But what happens is he gets triggered really easy. If you say, it's like Barry in a way, if you say something about him, he gets really triggered. And when he gets triggered, it gives him ammunition. It's like, you're not going to win this. You're not going to win this. I'm going to come back with a Popeye short. Oh, you don't want me to do a Popeye short. God forbid I do a Popeye short. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. He doesn't show us anything. But how stupid he is. How embarrassing his whole life is. At least some people could rest on their laurels of like what they accomplished in life here and there. He has nothing to rest it on. So I'm in the Navy, man. I'm a Navy, man. Fly the flag, Rah, rah, America. Okay, good, fine. That's wonderful. Okay, I guess it's serving your country, But fact is, he was nothing more than a fucking a shore patrol guard. That was it, folks. He was on shore patrol most of the time. Shore patrol. Not very exciting, except that he felt very special because he knew him and the shore patrol buddies, they could actually arrest somebody. A feeling of empowerment. Ooh, empowerment. Right, Robert? And that kind of gave him a Woody. You heard that the Navy Shore Police scored the lowest on Navy entrance exam. Is that true? I don't know. I don't think they're at the top of the list of anything. If you can't do nothing, then some people say just become a laborer. But that's not true. They got skilled laborers. You got different things like that. But I think in his case, no, I think that applies. I don't think he hit the top of the scoreboard on anything in life. When all he's got to talk about and think about is the Subic Bay days, I mean, that's pretty sad in itself. And they're all killing it out there, guys. Nico's he's killing it. He's killing it. Wasting money on fucking fertilizer and shit for his grass, and it winds up dying all the time. He's killing it. I see all the women around him. He's just killing it, man. They're all killing it. They're all killing it. They're killing themselves. They're all fat and overweight, most of them. Good God. They just can't afford to talk about anybody on here. Now, that's a fact. Hugo says some smack talk among friends, but he takes it to the next level of stalking. Yeah. What else has he got to do with his time? What has he got to do? In Florida, where he lives. He's not a swimmer. He doesn't go out swimming. Trying to make judgments on me. What do you do as activities? I do what I'm capable of doing, and I'll admit it. If he's in good shape and he's not immobile, there's water all around. Go to the ocean. Swim in the ocean. Go. Show us an activity, but he don't want to go on camera. He's afraid to show his scrawny, deteriorated body. No muscle tone. Nothing to show. Nothing. Shit. I saw the last photograph of him, and it was not an impressive photograph. I think they are bored and no friends of people to hang out with. Oh, they have been Judge Dredd said they've been very quiet about Roberto. Yes, they have. You know why? Because something is going on or did happen in regards to Roberto. But the reason they don't want to say it on here, because he's part of the boys club. Okay, they don't want a loss. They want to win. But if they say what's really going on with Roberto, it looks bad for the boys club, which Roberto was part of. We all know that Fazio died, but something happened with Roberto because there was nothing, and I do mean nothing, that would stop him from putting something on or going live or making a comment. Something went down Roberto. I don't know exactly what it is. I heard different things. Either he's dead or he had dementia or something. I don't know. Dementia is a possibility because the way he talked, I don't know if you could remember back. He couldn't talk very fast, and he wasn't a good orator. He wasn't. He needed the help of somebody being on a live stream with him to kind of direct the narrative and all that stuff, and he wasn't very good at doing that. I remember. Joe, about a month ago, Ricky was talking about guys who passed away in 2024, and a slip of the tongue mentioned Roberto Dunn. He could be gone. No loss, that's for sure. He talked some shit about my girlfriend, man. Threatened her, too. Yeah. Certainly did. Certainly did. No love loss, with fucking Roberto. You know what I mean? Roberto deserves whatever the fuck he had coming to him. So did Fazio. You're not going to get a tear coming from my eye for either one of them. But they are holding back something on Roberto. That's for sure. We don't know what exactly it is. Either he passed away or something happened with him. But they are definitely holding back. There's no question about that. I think, righteous Mick Fisher made a statement once that he had talked to Roberto, and that Roberto is just taking a year's vacation off of YouTube. It's been more than that. These guys, they all lie. The righteous, call them the righteous brothers. That's another name for them, the righteous brothers or the unrighteous brothers. They all try to act like they're so fucking righteous, but it fails to work. Dunn was in bad health, so that wouldn't surprise. Well, if he really did have that gastric bypass, I was going to say gastric bypass. There seems to be complications with that for those, even with banding. If it was just banding of the stomach, that's not good. Always going to work. But you get a gastric bypass eventually causes problems with people. And the only reason you get that is because you're overweight, you can't control what you're eating. Maybe he was, eating up his taco, him and his brother's taco business. Maybe he was eating up the profits. But no, this kind of happened before, so really, because he was always eating a lot. Yeah, he was not a small guy as far as girth. I mean, he had some weight on him. So, and he had a desk job most of the time. He was working on his desk. He was a skip tracer or something at one point or something, I think. He had access to different things. That's why he used to look up people all the time. He comes up with information about this guy, that guy, and this guy. Of course, with the help of Wally Barr. Wally Barr was also, which his name is, was it Walter? Yeah, they had access to a lot of information that they shared. I think he was diabetic too, yeah. Well, like I said, man, shit happens. It can happen to the best of us and the worst of us. Life goes on or it doesn't go on. It has to do with genetics, has to do with how you take care of yourself. It might even have to do with your attitude. Comp attitude too much, you'll pay in different ways. Shit, Barry got hit on the head by somebody once. Somebody was pissed at him. They showed that they care. Parabola. Do resistance training every day. Let's all live to the age of 70. Walk, eat right, and take Geritol. Geritol. That's a joke. You might as well drink Kool-Aid. Geritol. That's a joke. Did you know that just like, what do you call is another joke? What's that common vitamin that's always advertised all these years? You can eat the cardboard and get more nutrients out of the cardboard. Yeah. What's the name of that stupid vitamin company? There's nothing in there. Look at the ingredients and how many milligrams are in each pill. What is the name of that fucking company? Creatine. Well, yeah. Some of these guys are taking steroids, like, MJ. I definitely think he's taking steroids. Such crazy things to fuck with. It really is. Hey, I'm not looking to be this big, strong man. I'm not looking to be a fucking giant. I do a little exercise for basically a little strength training, and kind of calisthenics. Oh, actually called resistance. And I'm very happy with little I got. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Lawrence Welk. Oh, God, you remember that. Smart boys drink, Judge, smart boys drink olive oil. But I'm going to tell you something about that. Don't take olive oil. But, well, when you go to bed, that's when you're supposed to take a half teaspoon. But do not mix it with vitamin C and any large doses in magnesium, because you're going to have the runs. There is a drawback to some of this stuff. I have to tell you that, to be fair. Okay. There is some drawback to that. You'd be shitting all morning, actually. Just don't take them in combination. That's best advice I could give you. Judge Dredd, my Sicilian granddad, did that. He died at 67. Well, it could be other things going on. Parabola, genetics, whatever it might be. Like, there's no guarantee, man. Isto says, Turtle Man in Plywoods is talking crap on Popeye. Oh, they finally come out of the woodwork. Turtle Man and Plywood. They finally come out of the woodwork. I haven't heard them for a while. Turtle Man, what a joke. Plywoods, Peckerwood, even a bigger joke. Did you hear the grumpy Brit is going back to New Zealand for good? I never followed him. I went to go see who he was. And I never knew, I never followed his show. Ricky's kind of turning things around a little bit. He's going to be more current, which I think is advisable anyway, because he's just not going to get the attention he was with me and the Barry thing going on. He's just not going to get any more attention on it. He knows that. Ricky's smarter than you think he is. He knows the mathematics of the success of his show and getting, donations, or they call them now donos. If you're at the in crowd now, donos. Pregnant again? Who's the father? Who's the father? I'm not sure who the father was with the other children. I really don't know. Follow him. Does she still have a TikTok show on or something? She went on a lot of names, didn't she? I haven't seen her show for years now. I don't know how long it's been. Oh, you don't want to know who she is. She's the girlfriend of some fool out there that likes to attack people. who has nothing to boast about in his life at all. How many kids does she have now? How many did she give away to the family? That's what I want. I remember that. She had a couple of kids to begin with. Then she had another one, I think, through him. And I'm thinking he's the father. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't know. It's a train wreck, Parabola. Yeah, it's an absolute train wreck. You got that right. They're all train wrecks on here. But Popeye is like, man, his dick is vibrating right now because I'm doing a long show. He was thinking all the time, does Frank really mean, is he going to get off for good? I know you don't want to hear this, people. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You wait and see. And I know Robert will be laughing at this one. I know. I've always been a guy, if I had something to say, I just come out and say it. Okay, no, there's no fucking tipping around, you know. But the base of this show was a discussion about how these high roaders were so pro Barry, but the guy is suffering in a hot, sweltery, horrible prison environment, suffering like Christ on a cross. And they don't want to help him. The high roaders won't help Barry. Remember, guys, remember the chant. Free Barry J. Free Barry J. Free Barry J. How about if I take that road and I say it too? Free Barry J. Free Barry J. Get him out of hell. The gates of hell are going to meet him one day anyway. But the poor boy, he suffered so greatly. 2 years locked up in a detention center. Now he winds up in a real life prison. An average in this month of 107 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's 36 degrees with the heat index factor, makes it about 107 degrees by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The boy is suffering, but the high roaders don't want to do anything. Strife just says they're high rollers equal rats on a ship. Yeah. Judge Dredd says Barry has to pay. He's paying. He's already paid 2 years. Now he has to pay out of his fucking pocket, on top of everything else. Judge Dredd says Barry cannot get out. What makes you think he can get back in? Right. If he can't get out, he ain't going. Yeah, my lawyer said that. I think you're quoting my lawyer. My lawyer said the exact thing. That Barry can get out of anywhere, and what makes he's going to be able to get back in? Because he's going to be permanently blacklisted. Permanently. Relationship will be over, everything over. He's paying the price, or he will pay the price ultimately when this is all over. Let's get him back. Because the train wreck just begins at that point. He'll be begging even from there. He's not going away. Not off YouTube, he's not. The fun really starts when he gets back to America and he gets rearrested again. Then, maybe sometime after he serves more time, he'll get on and he'll be begging for money. The train wreck begins of his survival in the United States. I'm starving. My family won't help me. They took away my Social Security. Oh, he'll be begging like he's never begged before. At your parabola, I thought I was out. Then they pulled me back in again. Servio, The Sopranos. Oh. Yeah, you were quoting my lawyer, weren't you? I noticed that. That's why I said that. Yeah. Yeah. Jay still lives with his mommy. I mean, come on, look at these people. Look at these people. Look. Look at these people. Look. Look at them. Every single one of them. They got faults. All of them. They can't afford to talk about me or anybody else on here. No, they can't. They all got faults. They all got skeletons in their closets. That's why they joined the big boys club, the haters club. They got nothing going for their life. Sure, they got a little money. They travel. They go back and forth to Philippines. They go to Vietnam, or they go to Thailand. Look at me. I'm drinking. I'm having fun. But where's a permanent woman by your side? Where are they? Where? Tell me. Where are they? Where are they? Where? Tell me. Where are they? I never see them. You ever see Mick with a woman? I never seen Mick with a woman other than his present girlfriend. I don't know if she's girlfriend, you know. I never did. I never saw him as a ladies' man. Maybe he's too busy looking in the mirror, flexing his biceps. I don't know. I don't hate Mick. I think he's a jerk, but I don't hate Mick. There's not enough reason to hate him. Hate is a pretty deep word. I just don't agree with his philosophy. I don't think he is the perfect person that he thinks he is. Beyond reproach, I think he's a person who is just as hateful as Popeye and the rest on here. He's no different. That's why they all get along. That's how it works. They flock together. Okay, let's see. Okay, with this heat, what are you doing all today, Frank? I'm going bowling later. Right on, man. Right on. No, at the end of the day, we might take a walk to the beach and get some exercise in and just enjoy the environment. And, you know, it's too hot. I don't go down the beach. Oh, we could. I mean, they have shelters down there you could go under. But it's been a little bit too hot even for that. I think it has been. They could persevere this more than I could. People that visit their family here, you know. So, but I could do that anytime. But I don't stay there usually very long. End of the day, that's a different story. Mick always looks nervous on Fate's. Who's Fate? On Fate's video. Who's Fate? Mick likes to show his guns, his muscles, right? But if you look at his t-shirts, just take a look at him. He's got some flabby ass breasts, that's for sure. Why don't you show your physique off there, Mick? You got some flabby woman tits. That's what you got. We show you guns. Let's show you mammary glands. Always something, folks. There's always something, you know. Okay, I think I've been on here long enough. Okay. And I haven't watched this one bit of TV all day. I haven't done any of that. Too busy talking to you guys. See, I care about my audience. They even come on here and do a show. But Popeye is getting a little antsy right now. He wants to finish this up so he could do his little soliloquy that he's so proud of. Yo, Frank, I heard you won the case. Oh, hello, Hemorrhager. Where have you been? Well, Barry pleaded guilty to all 5 charges. And he's going to get a $250,000 fine to pay to court. Not dollar, but peso fine to pay to court. And 250,000 pesos for me. And he's been in Bicutan, believe it or not, if you haven't kept up, he's been in Bicutan now for about 4th day, 5th day, I'm not sure. Sweating his ass off. And the whole topic today was that the high roaders, they put Barry on a pedestal for what a great man he is, but they're not willing to help him. They're not willing to help him. They can get him out this week. He can be on his way home. He can be on his way home. They won't put out the money to pay. No, Mick with all the money, supposedly. Big E with all the money in the harem and all that. Dancing girls and debauchery and everything else. They won't pay the money. They won't pay. You know, what happened, Hemorrhager, is that because they had to renovate the existing detention, he wound up in Bicutan after all. Can you believe that, Miss Hemorrhager? Yeah, he's been in there about 4 days now, 4 full days. And he's going to be in there up until the time comes. He can pay the $250 to me, $250 to the court, and everything else. It probably amounts, you know, overstay fees, all that shit, probably amounts to 750,000 pesos. That's kid money to big pioneers of the wallet, like Mick Fisher and Don C and Big E. That's lunch money. But they're not helping them. They're not helping. Oh, so for Kings here, but they're not. Team Jordan lost. Well, they did, apparently. Apparently so. What do you say? I think so. I'm not rubbing my knuckles against my chest either, man. It's just fucking fact. But now they're hoping on, and that's what Big E's saving his money for. I even heard him mention it. He's not too worried about Barry, but chivalry is a big thing with Big E. Of course, he's got a harem. Chivalry. He wants to help the damsel in distress. The innocent damsel, innocent my lily white ass. And it's lily white, and you've seen it, and you loved it ever since. And people have been masturbating to my lovely ass ever since. Innocent, huh? Yeah. Well, since she's technically going to be free of Barry now, single woman, he's trying to indoctrinate her into his harem. This is what word on the street is, okay? Oh, yeah, he'll shower her with money, whatever. And she'll do well. She'll do well. Even 50K is a lot of money for Bummer, yeah. Judge says pocket money for Beaver, but Beaver won't pay. He's cheap, yeah. Alla was right. Frank is free. Barry's in Bickerton and has to pay Frank. My friends, I use that term loosely. It all comes down to that. So you determine who won the victory. Was it Barry or was it actually me? Examine all the details, come to your own conclusion, and figure it out. Popeye hates this, of course, but he don't like Barry either, so. But he talks nice to Barry if he got on. He's kind of a secret supporter of Barry, but he won't put out no money either. He don't put out money for nobody. Occasionally, his adopted son, Nico, he'll buy a stroller or something for Nico's grandchild. Well, Popeye doesn't have anybody other than his daughter. He needs a family. But Nico, his adopted son, was only 20 minutes away from him the other day he did a show. He didn't even stop to see his surrogate dad. Why is that? Because Popeye won't allow anybody to see him. They want anybody to see how decrepit he is and what he looks like. Out of fear. He don't want to get out, but it is out. We know what he looks like. It's horrible. It's horrible. AJG says Shaw will be single for the rest of her life. Shaw's hitched her wagon to the wrong horse. You might say that. She wants to hitch her wagon up to Big E. That would be a big mistake. But he welcomes people into his harem. The very religious guy that believes in God. Committing horrible sins. He's going to be welcomed to the gates of fucking hell. Debauchery, lives of debauchery. Flowing his money around. Look at me. I got money you don't. I'm powerful. Don't fuck with me. I'm a powerful man. The power, my friends, that he refers to is his wallet. And he can get any Filipino to follow his trail. It's like a guy holding up a carrot in front of a donkey. And that donkey's going to go for that carrot until he gets it. His wallet is the carrot. His wallet is the carrot. Yeah, Barry has a daily 500 peso fine for not paying is adding up. Well, it's going to come to about, no, just penalties and all that. It's going to come total to about 750,000, which has been discussed on here, amongst others too. Total. Is anybody willing to pay that? Do they have the capability of paying that? Some of them do. It's like pocket change to them. But they won't help him because they know he's wrong. But also because they know they'll be helping me out too, because 250,000 pesos will go in my pocket. My pocket. They don't want that to happen. Oh, no, they don't want that to happen.
They're the ones saying Barry. I heard how many times did Big E say it and Nick Fisher. Barry had suffered enough. The poor guy spent 2 years in detention. I don't feel it's right. Well, you talk to immigration about that. I told you talk to them, not me. I didn't do that. They felt bad for him. But now he's in Bickerton, the most horrible place you could ever be in your life. The most horrible, despicable, hot, sweltering, horrible places. And they're not willing to piece their money together and get him out, send him back home to Alabama? Why is that? Why is that? AJG says, Big E's girlfriend with the glasses reminds me of an old movie where Mickey Rooney played a Japanese guy with buck teeth and big black glasses. Hey, you said that. I didn't, man. I didn't say a word of that. I did not even try to justify that statement at all. And I won't. And I won't. Oh, my God, you guys. Oh, my God. You guys. Terrible, terrible, man. Terrible. She's Chinese, isn't she? She's got to be Chinese. That's not an insult, by the way, Biggie. That's not an insult. That's not an insult at all. I never knew what her heritage was. I assumed she was Filipino. But maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know. Okay, what was that guy's wife? Okay, do you remember? Oh, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Guy used to have a show, to be on all the time. He married this Chinese chick. He lived in the Philippines. You know, he did underwear commercials. He did Travis.
On Bantayan shores, frail Frank takes a stand with his health tips that don't fit any plan, spouting hate from a throne made of lies, criticizing others while he undercuts his own ties. Narcissism runs deep like the tides of the sea. He's always right, can't you see? Frail Frank, you're falling apart, hiding your flaws behind a broken heart. You criticize what you see, a hypocrite trapped in his own destiny. She can Parma benzos and green tea in hand while he's drowning in woes, thinking he's the man. Scam 24,000 pesos in a bar in Cebu, his wallet feeling light. Yet he still preaches wisdom with all of his mind. With a black belt in karate to flaunt, he talks tough like a king. But there's no strength in hate, only a bitter sting. Frail Frank, you're falling apart, hiding your flaws behind a broken heart. You criticize what you see, a hypocrite trapped in his own destiny. Heading to prison, he's lost in this world, sharing a cell with Barry. What a wild world.
All right, there ain't no more sense in simulcasting this guy because he just keeps repeating the same shit over and over. And that what video was compliments of Rich Blanc. And so I say to Rich Blanc, Maraming salamat po. Very nicely done. Yeah, it's good stuff, Doug Williams. Good stuff. Welcome in, everybody. So let's get going with the monologue. I do not do soliloquies. I repeat, there is a difference between a monologue and a soliloquy. And unfortunately, Frank doesn't understand that. He just wants to keep repeating the word soliloquy. But that's Frank's problem, not mine. So, what you heard tonight is a bunch of insults. What you heard tonight is Frank attacking Big E's wife, a Filipina. What you heard tonight is Frank wants to have his cake and eat it too. What else you heard tonight was a bunch of statements that contradict each other. Two Mondellos left cutting it close. Okay, Sweet Pea. So welcome in, Sweet Pea, Chris Cato, Mick Fisher, Dr. Sniffs a lot. Yeah. The Bob C channel, Kevin Tuttle. Who else we got here? We got quite a few people in the house. So welcome in, everybody. Look, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say it was the Philippine government that put Barry in jail. No, it was actually Frank. He paid 5,000 pesos to an investigator. And he paid for the transportation to come have Barry picked up and put in jail. Okay. So then he turns around and he says, well, it's still not me that put him in jail, you know. He's the one who overstayed. Exactly, he did overstay. Right? And he deserved to be put in detention. But what Frank fails to tell you is that he filed a case so Barry had to stay in jail. He already had his deportation order. All he had to do was pay the fines and he could have went home. But no. What did Frank do? He put a case on him. You heard Frank tonight. He hopes to God that Barry is suffering. So, Frank, nothing but lies again. All right? Nothing but lies. That's the way it rolls. Yes, golly gee, Sweet Pea, I am telling you Frank did this. And, you know, it's as simple as this. Frank needs to explain why he's refusing service and he's got his alarm on. This is via Jay. Jay wants to know, why will you not accept the paperwork from immigration? Well, I'm going to tell you why, folks, because Frank knows it's over. And you can see he's insulting everybody in the book. He went after Ruby tonight. He went after he went after Big E's wife. I don't want to say her name. And he just keeps going after Shah. So he went after 3 Filipinas tonight. Okay? And he committed cyber libel against 3 different Filipinas tonight. We've also learned that Frank is a bigot, using slurs against Asians, Japanese, Filipinas, and Chinese. Okay? Archie Bunker lives on, Frank, as long as you're alive. So, Frank, your deportation is coming down the line. You are actually, I'd have to say, you're about 5 months overstay now, because the word on the street is that Manila did not accept what Cebu immigration did. You need to learn, Frank, that Manila runs the show, not Cebu. Cebu is just a satellite office, and they have to do what Manila says. So you are now an overstayer like Barry was. Whether you accept it or not, I really don't friggin' care. Because sooner or later, they're going to come pick you up and you're going to be sitting right beside Barry. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Your time is coming to an end. And nobody's going to pay Barry's fees. And Frank, you call this a win. Right? The minimum fine for cyber libel is 50,000 pesos per count. You had 5 counts, that's 250,000 pesos. That's not a win, Frank. You didn't win shit. You spent more than 250,000 pesos on this case. Frank, that is the biggest loss. Okay? Frank, how can you call it a win when the guy cops a plea to guilty? So I say to everybody in the live chat, welcome to Holy Week. The devil is present. Yes, the devil is present. And that is our boy Frank. Oh, yes, he does have a hold order departure. Now, Frank, when you do go over the 12-month mark, that means you can never come back to Philippines. Anything past 12 months on overstay means you can never come back to the Philippines. So the clock is ticking, Frank. I hate to tell you this, but it's ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, Frank? Get it through your thick head. Your time is coming to an end. And they'll be dancing in the streets. Frank threw away years of his life to someone who doesn't matter. That's precisely the definition of losing. Nova PH, I have to agree with you there. Wholeheartedly. Right? Now, Frank is still live and he's on repeat. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And, you know, that's a pretty big insult you issued to Big E's wife. You know, That's a pretty big insult that you issued to Shaw. Dude, the use of harem, the accusations with no receipts. Francine is nothing but a broken record. Exactly. He just, you know, Heminger come in there and lit his ass up. March 1, 2026, Frank's passport expires. Well, that's lovely. Snorting benzos gives you a power towards innocent women. Yeah, I mean, he literally had nothing nice to say about anyone tonight. The only one he didn't talk about was Don C. I was very shocked. Okay, very shocked. So, to that end, I can only say to you guys that Frank is in a lot of trouble. And he put himself there. There's nothing more to say. And I'm not going to be a broken record tonight, going over and over and over again with it. I hope you enjoyed my monologue. This is Popeye One. Have a good evening, and thanks for coming out tonight. And I'll catch you on the flip side. This is day 717, Locked Up Abroad.